Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. And yes, I had a few days off in the middle of the week there. Apologies for that. Mother was sick in hospital, but she's all better now, and so am I, so we can roll out with today's action. First of all, though, quick message going out to all you guys. They're always saying to me, Gyle, cast different types of games. Well, I'm afraid I'm pretty limited with what I can cast, because I can only really cast games that get sent in to me or stuff that gets posted on the replay forum. The replay vault's all well and good, but it's really limited when you're a caster and you're trying to trawl through that for decent replays. It doesn't generally bring up a great selection. So I also really like to cast different types of games. People are always saying that cast more Phantom games, cast more Diamond mod games, more Black Ops games. I would love to, but I need the replays to be able to do it. So go forth, play games, send in, we can all do well. And I would especially like to cast more Phantom games. I know it's really quite difficult because generally they turn out quite turtly and slow at the beginning. It's the very nature of the mod. But if you have a decent Phantom game with lots of action, where the action kicks off soon after Phantom assignment, that stands a good chance of getting casted, so send those in. Anyway, on to today's action. It's going to be a custom 4v4, and it's going to take place on Hilly Plateau. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top, and we'll call this Team 2 down here at the bottom. Going first for Team 1, one of our all-time favourite Gibraltans, son to Tag Rock, and brother to us all, it's Clan Tag's Pebble. And the man with the awesome Mech Marine Micro won't be demonstrating any of that today because he's sporting the season's very fashionable Aeon, going mellow yellow up there at the back and going first land. And to his south, one of our all-time favourite Fim players, it's Armageddon in Ferrari Red. He's still going his customary Seraphim and opening first land. Down here to his right, we've got Lanelas going Aeon again. And he's in Elephantine Grey going first land. And last but not least, for Team 1, we've got Wild Green. Played a few good games with this guy recently. He's pretty good, but that is, of course, in relation to me, which doesn't necessarily mean anything. But certainly he's up against it here because this is a veritable who's who of Sopcom elitists. Anyway, he's going Cybrin in Volvo Beige, opening first and second land. So that's Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2 down here at the bottom. Going first for Team 2 down here in Baby Blue, going Seraphim. It's Kershaw, and he's opening first land, second air. Secondly, for Team 2, ahead of him, General CL. Not sure if I've cast this chappie before. Might have changed his name from something else. Anyway, he's going Pontiff White Seraphim, opening first land. To his left, already making his way towards the middle and that central mass, it's my good friend Chosen in Regal Purple, going Aeon, as he often likes to do these days, and opening first land. And last but never least, I've lost the ACU. Where is he? There we go. The one and only, the quintessential Voodoo, having a cigarette break. Playing Sopcom, such a tiring business. Anyway, he's standing there in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink, opening first and second land. So there we go, there we have it. And it's not that he's picked Seraphim these days over UEF. I believe his choice at the moment is random when he comes in for these things. So he's just happy to end up with what he gets. Anyway, first couple of Selens out for Kershaw. Going to take route over in the eastern edge of the map, looking for any potential threats coming down that way. We have got a couple of Thams and a Slem moving north from Voodoo over in the western edge of the map. And it's a little bit more aggression that's coming out on this side of the map than his mirror, which will be Tag Pebble. At the back here, he's expanding and leading with engineers first. He has got a couple of Auroras on the move now. But pound for pound, they get it mixed up with these Thams, of course. Those Thams going to emerge victorious. All four ACUs, though, for Team 1 are in the middle. Team 2, conversely, hanging back a little bit. Just Kershaw and Chosen in the middle at the moment. Voodoo was on the move. There he is, still making his way up there as we speak. But it looks like initial reclaim will go predominantly to Team 1, and a nice little bit of teamwork has managed to get Lanelas up to T2, and he has managed to throw together an Oblivion turret in good time there. Kershaw eating the first couple of rounds and also facing off against Wild Green. Armageddon's ACU is going to be forced to back out of the ACU's range and back well away from the front lines. Chosen Getting a quick upgrade there. Is that going to be T2 as well? Yes, it is, and he immediately starts work on an Oblivion turret. It's got some build capacity up front with him to assist. So both of these teams now have T2 on the front line. Just 5 minutes gone on this one already. A few units pushing over in the east. Mantis from Wild Green trying to establish some early territory on that side. But look at Voodoo raiding Pebble already at the back. That's a decent number of Thams he's got up there. Takes down a Mex while he's at it. And Armageddon forced to back up with some of his own units to help relieve his teammate at the back here. Pebble went very light on offense in the early opening stages of this one, which has got him into one or two difficulties. Voodoo not able to complete the conquest. We have got some bombers out though for Pebble. He'll be able to harass those Thams out of the middle. Now it looks like a little bit of a point defense war is brewing here. Stealth field generator online, and now another unit of PD for Chosen. And if he can creep this line of PD in towards the middle, he might still be able to dislodge Team 1. Armageddon's going to grab an upgrade on his comm. I'm wondering if that's going to be guns since we had T2 at the front already. And still anybody's game over in the east. Coach are moving forward with a couple of Zuis. Heavy group of Mantis there for Green. And also a handful of Auroras there from Lenalas as well. But Kocha has relocated his comm. And it looks like he's going to be facing off against Green, whose comm's also in the vicinity, although backing up slightly towards safer climbs. Voodoo advancing. He's taking a bit of a beating on his comm. He's down to around 7,700 hit points. We need a team reclaim indicator rather than just individual for these long team games. It'd be so handy to see who's banked the most as a team. Armageddon finishes that upgrade. We'll take a look at what it was. It was the T2 engineering suite. So Team 1 increasing their build power up at the front. They've lost that Oblivion turret. And Chosen doing a good job here of spreading out in the middle. 4 units of point defense now online. Stealth gen and shield gen in play, covering 3 of them. Now it's time for attack missile launcher as well. So Chosen really looking to harass and punish Team 1 that after that initial start in the middle have been forced to back out well and truly. So this is quite the turnaround. They had the initiative here in the front and then just didn't do anything with it. It's a slight lack of teamwork or decision making on their side of things. They needed to break this little setup here before it got started. Unfortunately, they weren't pushing aggressively to do that. Voodoo once again though looking for any potential avenue to make a run by on Pebble. Pebble's got a handful of Auroras there sealing off that path. He could have gone in around the back, of course. Aurora's not going to be able to micro efficiently and use their range advantage with all of these obstacles in their way. Voodoo deciding like caution is more sensible at this stage. Pebble advancing on this other band of Voodoo Thams, assisted by T1 from Armageddon. Voodoo's going to back up. Chosen bringing in some support from the south. Now we've got T2 Ilshivers on the field for General as well. It's really not looking great for Team 1 here. 10 minutes gone, 10.5 minutes gone in this one so far. Pebble forced to use his ACU up front on this western flank. A bunch of Auroras up here which are backing up in the face of these Thams from Voodoo. It's their intel like, well, it's pretty good. Full coverage on that area at least, which is essential. Auroras, of course, the range advantage ever so slightly slower than the other vehicles. Chasing them down there. Pebble on around 8,200 hit points with that comm. It's got a little bit of play and wiggle room still to stick it out and halt this pressure. Stop this pressure from moving any further into their territory. But now Wild Green backing up in the face of General's comm and a whole lot of T1 from Kershaw as well. Like Green has the gun upgrade there, rate of fire, you can see him blapping away. 17 kills on that commander and climbing, but the middle had its extra mass points well and truly in Team 2's hands at the moment, and it doesn't look like Team 1 are in any position to go after it either. Concerned with the pressure on the flanks. Green and General now going toe-to-toe. General also has the upgrade on his comm. And the T2 engineering suite as well. Green conversely with the weaker ACU anyway, and just the T1. So at full health, he's giving away 4,500 hit points to his opponent there. Gage is right, successful in destroying a portion of that run by from Kershaw, but Kershaw manages to get a couple of FAMs in amongst the back here, not able to do any significant damage with it. However, it's a nice stop from Team 1. Pebble time to go on the counter-offensive a little bit here. However, he's starting to face tech up front. We've got an Ilsheva on the field, doesn't last too long against that quantity of Auroras. It's definitely going to make Pebble wary. Pebble going T2 air. First of all, decent number of swift winds on the field for him. And not featuring massively as yet, but it's still early in the game. 14.5 minutes gone in this one. General setting up shop here just south of the equator on this map. Just to get some TMD in place, perhaps to counteract these Vipers, which are steadily growing in number around Wild Green as he bounces in and out of range. Green concerned about this presence of units from Kershaw over in the far east. Can't devote his time to stalling this, but General looking very aggressive here. Little fire base under construction. There is now a TMD on the way, and I was working on some forward support factories as well. Take a look at how the battlefield looks, and you can see that's a good 60 odd, 66% map control to Team 2. Lead eco at the moment seems to be Lanelas, followed up by Voodoo. And then after that, we get into rather a close race between Kershaw, Chosen, Geddon, Green, all in the 70s. But Pebble and General are the two that are struggling the most on eco in this one. Nice work with some mobile missile launchers there from Armageddon. 3 Seraphim mobile missile launchers knocking out those 2 T1s in the center. Chosen will be happy to sit on this T2 Mex as his advantage and prevent Team 1 from getting control of that. That would mean he's still ahead territory-wise. War rages continually over there in the east. The start of land factory there wasn't able to complete. But this has to be a concern. This is looking like a nice, well-established little fire base here for Team 2. I'm going to have to get more mobile missile launchers on the case. Green's doing his best with what looks to be 4 Vipers. He could do with a lot more, that's for certain. But Armageddon now rolling out T3 on the field. And a Suthanus heading down this way. That will cause 1 or 2 problems. But Voodoo once again looking for the run-by. Won't leave Pebble alone in this one. Pebble being harassed continuously, and seems to have sorted out his eco woes as well. He's jumped to 83 mass per tick. Perhaps he was power stalling. Bunch of build capacity following General's ACU around. Testing the water a little bit with his ACU. Takes a couple of hot shots from General's T2 PD up front there. And now a couple of Spectres, or 4 Spectres on the field for Pebble. He's a decent amount of swift winds there. His only real opponent in the air for the moment seems to be Kershaw, who's gone mass interceptor down here. Voodoo is steadily building up his own as well in the west, concerned about potential gunship threat. There's a lot of exposed T2, and he's got a tech advantage on the ground, which he doesn't want to be giving up either. But really, this whole area looking very weak on the ground for Team 1 right now. Again, having a couple of power issues as his shields blink on and off. I think it's been very quiet down the middle. Not a lot of conflict going on down here through the center. Rebuilding those 2 central nexus. Got T3 on the field, the odd Harbinger up front, a few more on the way as well. Self-destructing his redundant T1 power plants there to make room for higher tech structures. Oh, Green not building up Vipers quickly enough, but he has started work on a Monkey Lord. That's looking to be around 33% complete or so. Decent amount of build capacity on that, which was explain why the numbers of units aren't increasing dramatically. Assuming this doesn't get any more heavily fortified than it is now, that could be a perfect tool to brush this aside. There are 2 T2 Gens and a T3 in place here though for General. He invests much more heavily in T2 PD. That could be a tough nut to crack. Wave of T1 bombers heading out down the center for Chosen. Going after these sniper bots maybe? No. A little bit deeper. And just giving some mass to his opponents. Why not? There's plenty of it. Poacher throwing away a few inties to do a bit of scouting, and the Monkey Lord has been discovered just as it's about to be completed. See the pinging going down on it there. Are there any experimentals on the way for Team 2? There isn't chicken under construction there, and Voodoo gifting a bunch of his engineers over to Kershaw to assist with the construction of that. That's good teamwork there. Help throw that thing together nice and quickly. And there goes the Monkey Lord. A lot of scout planes coming out from Team 2. Good coverage from both Kershaw and Chosen. You see the impact that that's having on their field of view, but not a lot coming the other way from Team 1. And as a result, they're probably not going to be aware that it's been spotted and the counter is on the way and very nearly constructed. So there's a time limit now for this Monkey Lord to be effective. There's a lot of T3 on the ground here belonging to Lenelas. He was to charge in a little bit with this Monkey Lord and obliterate this sector now. If you get it back, get it repped up and healed before any response could be mustered. Chosen moving east and then moving back again with a band in the middle. Not sure about where he needs to take these units. Responding to movements from his mirrors up here, but Monkey Lord not committing at the moment for green. They're happy just to harass the shield a little bit. That T3 down to about half of its HP on the actual shield itself. Pebble over there with some harbs, going to eat an awful lot of Offen fire. See that chicken now completed for Voodoo, making its way over to General's firebase up here, and that advantage for the moment has been squandered. There is a crab under construction at the back there. That could be a useful tool in cracking this. But look how dominant Voodoo's looking against Pebble in the west, and a ton of strap bombers out as well, shadowed by a whole bunch of ASF. Suddenly Team 2 emerging as a potent and, dare I say, dominant force in the air game in this one. Minute 27. Restorers on the field for Lenelas. Whenever Voodoo was planning, he changed his mind, withdrew all of those units. Voodoo gifting that Ithota over to Kershaw's control, well aware that he'll be better placed in this side of the map to keep an eye on things. There's an awful lot of Harbingers and a few bricks as well for Team 1. That crab 50% done. Now, the first major T3 air engagement kicking off over here between Kershaw and Pebble, but the strap bombers make it in. Where are they headed? They're going after the crab. No, they're going after Green's commander at the back. They land a couple of bombs and knock him down to around 4.5k, but somehow not enough got through, and Green survives. I'm surprised. Nice snipe attempt there. Oh, one was still alive, and Pebble shoots it down and gets the bomb off, takes him down to 1200 hit points. But still Green is alive. Doing his little dance up there at the back. Nice little snipe attempt there from Voodoo. Unfortunate not to get it. That crab nearly operational, 87,000 hit points of 110. GC operational up front for Lenelas. Busy producing a strategic missile defense. Have they seen something we haven't? There is a strategic missile launcher completed at the back there for Chosen. This looks like the next zone where action is going to come from. Miasma fire going across. There it is. We've got one or two in place, and we've also got some Serenities moving forward as well. So Geddon being harassed up front by a combination of static T2 and T3 mobile. Lane shouting go. I guess that's in cahoots with Wild Green, who's completed that crab, which is now making its way to the front line. Wild Green suggesting Mazer. Lane just saying let's just kill this base now. At the same time, they're posturing to make their move. Voodoo also repositioning. Still looks very weak on the ground up here. Of course, the further you push your ground forces away from the cover of your base, the harder it is for them to have success up here on the ground. I feel a little army like that could cause some serious damage. However, there is now an Ethota on the field for Armageddon. Relocate that up to the back and chew up those units quite nicely. Lots of ASFs on the field for Voodoo, not looking for another snipe just yet after that previous failed attempt against Green. And now that crab getting into range is going to open up on that forward position. There is a GC coming in there from Voodoo at the back there. Given an Aeon Engineer, or that's been transferred over from Chosen, one or the other. It's going to be a Monkey Lord and a Megalith versus a Chicken and a GC. Meanwhile, that Ethota in the middle, moving on that forward position of Chosen's. Armageddon going to be able to dust this aside without any difficulty at all. Not a great deal has been left down the center for Team 2. Crab having good success against the position up front. Flaps the penultimate shield gen and then the last one as well. Forward comes the Monkey Lord in the face of the two experimentals moving in. That GC has had its control moved over to Kirchers. Another GC up here for Lenalas as well. It's 3 experimentals versus 2 in favor of Team 1. In come the Harbingers. Bricks as well in support over in the right. The Chicken goes down for Kircher, and it is now 3 versus 1 in the experimental game. That GC isn't going to last long at all. And Ion Storm causing 1 or 2 troubles for Kircher's reinforcing units. Is going to be a strong win over here in the east for Team 1 as they breeze through the armies on the ground. Meanwhile, at the middle, Armageddon's Chicken is still alive. And with decent amounts of support as well. Yes, there are a lot of Harbingers coming in from Chosen. What units were left on the field there from Voodoo have been taken out. So this is a nice play, and somehow Pebble has emerged with a GC over in the west as well. Voodoo's units had all been called to the middle and subsequently been destroyed by this push from Armageddon, leaving our western flank wide open for an offensive from Pebble. Look at this swing in territory in favor of Team 1 as they breeze through in the east. They're pushing down the middle, and now the west is crumbling the world as well in the face of just one experimental. T3 factory going down, T3 mechs under pressure. GC continues to press from Pebble, getting into the inner bowels of Voodoo's base now. Large ASF battle overhead. Definitely going to go in favor of Voodoo, who has overwhelming numbers on that one. Still under their own steam though. 3 experimentals operational. The Monkey Lord looks pretty badly beat up, just 15,000 HP left on him. The Crab's on around 50% of its HP. The GC's well into the green still. What have we got down here? We've got a nuke in the silo that's ready to go. I wonder if Chosen's going to use it to obliterate detected. One of those things. In a minute sooner do I say it, he launches it. Where is it going though? That is the question. He couldn't have chosen a better time to do it as GC from Pebble makes its way into Voodoo's base. Voodoo's just finished a GC of his own, however, and he should be able to do it. That nuke has not gone to one of the armies. Instead, it's gone way up here That Nuke defense we saw earlier was just a fraction of a click away from knocking down the Nuke, but he didn't get one loaded in time, and Pebble hasn't moved his ACU, and he is going to go down at minute 35, the first player to be evicted from the game, and it's for Team 1, having just made this stunning little push. Still that Ethota online up front for Armageddon, continues to press. General CL coming in now with his own chicken, should be able to deal with it. There are a few Othams still in the area as well. And of course this marauding force in the east still continues to cut down Team 2's territory. That was a wonderful nuke from Chosen. If it wasn't for that nuke, this would probably symbolize one of the most overwhelming collapses of a team in recent memory. Bricks coming in, knocks out one of Chosen's support commanders. Full capacity up front, trying to finish off that Ethota. There's a nuke launcher very close to getting a nuke done, but it's going to get taken out before it's completed. General's base now under serious threat of being destroyed. Finally, that chicken is taken out in the center there. Good work from Kershaw with the strap bombers bombarding from the air. Another chicken down for Kershaw up front. The Iron Storm this time is going to work in his favor. He's got another one as well to bring in, and Chosen coming in with a GC as well, and another GC from Voodoo. Team 2 spitting out experimentals as quickly as they can to deal with this threat, but still it costs Kershaw another chicken on the front here. They will finally contain that crab. Down it goes. Chosen will hold on to that GC up front, I think. Just the odd brick, and Harbinger left. It's going to be close between this GC from Lanelas and GC from Voodoo. I think it's going to go Voodoo's way. Just a bit of support coming in from Chosen's one now. There it goes, doubling up of damage. And the threat is contained. The Odd Mercy coming in there as well to help finish things off. My goodness, but look at the difference on the field now. What an unbelievable battle that was. 5 minutes of pure joy. Well, not for the poor people and robots involved in all that, but it was good to watch. And that nuke launcher still in play for Chosen. I can't believe how close that was. Finally, that has a anti-nuke in it, but what? A Scathis from nowhere. Wild Green's been cheekily working on that during that last assault. See what he can hit from there. If I can actually select Wild Green, what is going on with this thing? Can't actually do it. That's really annoying. It's probably still this chat window that's causing me issues. I will sort this out. It is, you naughty, naughty window. You can go over there. Hideous as that is. Go away. There we go. Amazing. So now we can at least see the range on the Scathis. Actually select it. There we go, and all of Chosen's base is in range of that puppy. GC's rolling out. Not too pretty heavily damaged, just 32,000 HP left on Voodoo's. And this one up front for Chosen in even worse shape. Nice rank of veterancy there though, jumps him from 20k to 40k. Put hair on your chest. Maybe not a look that the Aeon appreciate. As we all know, Aeon very heavily into waxing, especially the men. And Chosen now feeling the brunt of that Scathis fire. And is taking a pummeling. Needs to get his ACU back under that shield coverage, which he does. But there goes a bunch of the P-gens. He's probably not going to be able to sustain that shield. He's trying to build more, but I don't think he's going to get out of this. Apocalypse, the nuke launcher, down to 50%. But if he takes one more hit, he's going to go. There he goes. So there's the nuke threat eliminated up front. That could have come at a better time as two GCs are rolling towards Team 1's base. They're going to get destroyed as Chosen's control modules get obliterated in that AC, leaving just Voodoo's heavily damaged Colossus all by his lonesome to get incinerated in a halo of plasma fire. Now that Scath is retargeting General, but a arse washer on the field for Kosher incoming. Where is he going? We've got strap bombers in tow as well from Voodoo. He's going after Laneless, not surprisingly standing right by that Scathis as well. It's going to impact on the shield gen and take them down, and that will open the door for these strap bombers from Voodoo. The question is, will Lanelas micro out the way? He was well aware of the impending trouble because he was building transcenders everywhere, but it wasn't enough to keep him safe. Lanelas ejected from the game at 41 minutes, just when it looked like they'd even things up, taking Chosen out. Lose Lanelas. It's now again a 3 versus 2. However, General has been pretty heavily muted in the last few attacks and will not be presenting too much in the way of threat. Scath is still online, but now the strap bombers can come in. No anti-air left. Most of what was on the field there for Team 1 belonged to Lanelas. Goes up, and a second bomb off as well, going after the nuke launcher. It does connect and takes it down, while Green losing his nuke there, suffering heavily. Good work from Kosher, exploiting the opening there from Lanelas's departure from the game. 2 Thotas online for Kosher, 1 for Voodoo, another one on the way, and a heavily diminished set of teams for both of these guys. Team 1 brutalized, Team 2 brutalized. A lot left at all, so expect a significant lull in the amount of activity compared to what's been going on in the last 15 or 20 minutes or so. Chicken on chicken up front. Armageddon with support from his Othams should at least be able to bag Voodoo's, but Kosher will bring his own in to finish the deal. Actually didn't need to. Voodoo's all over that. Brings in a second one to eliminate the threat, but still more defenses crumbling for Team 2. However, it's going to be a tough order for Team 1 nonetheless, but can't say they're going to be wanting for mass. Look at this GC, 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 Awasar, Scathis, and a ton of base wrecks as well. They've got all the mass they could possibly ever want. The question is, can they build enough power to make use of it? Lanelas telling Green to make a telemaser. Chosen telling his team to beware of the telemaser. It's definitely that time in the game. And that little warning has prompted reaction from Team 2. Kosher building as many units of T1 PD as he can fit around his comm. There's Voodoo, and what's he doing? He's doing exactly the same. Throwing them together. Now with that many units, that's going to be really tough for Green to get a kill. So much mass. Team 2 looking dangerous in the skies still. Way out in front. Green trying to build up his air force a little bit. It's got a handful of spy planes up there and the odd ASF being spat out. Armageddon, small collection there in the middle. Definitely dominance though lying with Team 2 in the air. Now we can finally take a look at what's left now that the teams have been thinned out. Armageddon leading the game, I think it's fair to say, on the amount of mass that's coming in, but suffering overwhelmingly from power issues. He's trying to build as many P-gens as he can up there at the back. He's got so much mass to make use of. And I think a bit of mass would have been wasted as well. You can see Green was full barring there, but that's not their concern. They just need to get eco and defense up and running as soon as possible. Get everything established and get units on the field, because right now they're facing dangerous amounts of experimentals. 4 down here for Kershaw, 3 over here for Voodoo, and more on the way. And another arse washer on the field. Kershaw looking dangerous. To Green's credit, he's got a decent amount of ASFs out onto the field, but they need to be really careful, Team 1, about how they approach this engagement. But Voodoo, very ill-advised, going for an engagement over the top, leading with those. I suppose he's preventing a screen, or he's providing a screen for the arse washer to come in. It's going to land right on top of all of those engineers. A huge ton of build capacity going pop for the bomber named Chosen's Revenge. That's incredible. Instantly gets it to 110 kills. Is it going to get another bomb off? That's the question. I think it will, you know. This time it looks like it's queuing up for Green. His comm is over here. He should be able to survive a pass. And it will make a royal mess of his base if it manages to drop a bomb, which it doesn't. And I think it's going to crash somewhere off the edge of the field. At least that won't provide any mass, or maybe not. It's managing to make the turn. It's going to come back onto the field, well down into the red. Will it get the bomb off in time? That's the question. 8,000 hit points left. It does get the bomb away, and it does kill Green. I thought he would have been able to survive that, but apparently not. Down he goes. Unreal. So Team 1 now down to just Armageddon. Surely the great Armageddon cannot repel firepower of this magnitude. Voodoo, Kershaw and General still alive and kicking in this one. A lot of experimentals on the ground. There goes Green's base. Voodoo flanking up here in the west with an Ethota. Positioning is going to be key now for Team 2. They're going to want to roll Armageddon and do it quickly. They don't want him getting established, burrowing in, making use of all of the extra resources around here. He must be absolutely flying. So it's 361 mass for what's left of Team 1, which is Armageddon. 300 alone between Voodoo and Kershaw, plus another 100 for General. So definitely Team 2 ahead in this one, but that's of course not taking into account the enormous amount of reclaim that he has access to. The problem is as you can see, physically cannot build power quickly enough. Get his power situation stabilized. Might just be able to get back in this one, but I don't think he's going to have enough time. Already see Kershaw and Voodoo positioning their experimentals for what they'll hope to be the final offensive. Armageddon does have 4 Ethotas of his own, but he's going to be facing 8 down here. There's a 9th on the way, and of course 1 flanking one up here at the back as well. And there is no real defensive areas set up for Armageddon around this side of the map, so this chicken is going to be able to walk straight in. There's no real banks, no banks of PD lined up anywhere for Armageddon. And the final assault begins. Coacher coming in on the right, Voodoo in on the left. It looks like Armageddon is going to go after Voodoo's first. The logic being, if you can take those out of commission with his advantage in numbers, he should be able to bring what's left into play on Kirchers. There's another Ethota moving out in the background. Voodoo's moving in with that spare one up the back, however. And 3 chickens down at the front for Voodoo. Kircher siphons another one of his off to keep them busy while making the run by over here to the east of that position and getting well and truly into the bowels of the base. Armageddon's comm is up here. That's the target, and they are rapidly closing in on it. Voodoo going to prevent his escape to the west. That's nice pinning down from Team 2. And there's no way Armageddon's going to be able to dispatch them in time. Chosen says, run, Forrest, run, but it's not enough. Those iron leg braces just too constraining. Armageddon bows out at the end of the 53rd minute. Small desync at the end, we won't worry about that. Hope you enjoyed that though, guys. Thank you to Kershaw for sending that one in. More to come from me as always in the future, but in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle signing out.